Why is it so important to have an integrated dream? And what does it mean when we say an integrated dream? And so in the women's school, we really focus on teaching women to look at every arena of her life and pay attention to the desires that she would want and what she would like that particular arena of her life to be. Because what we're seeing right now is that we get tunnel vision and say, I want to just be relationship focused and that's what I want. And I want to focus on my marriage or my boyfriend or our relationship. But we don't pay attention to maybe our family life, maybe our friendship, maybe our contribution to humanity, maybe our wealth, maybe our self-image or our health. And so because we get so tunnel vision, all the arenas of our life are suffering and we don't pay attention to the importance of every part of our life. It's kind of like a wheel, right? Everything has to be still in motion at the same time. And so, because if we don't pay attention to it, then you could have an incredible career, but you're realizing, wait, I'm not fulfilled. Why? Well, my home life, I feel like I'm not really contributing to my children. Or you know what? My intimate life, my marriage is kind of non-existent. But I've got a really great career. Ultimately, what we want is an integrated dream, knowing that every part of our life is meaningful and fulfilling. So the importance of paying attention to the integrated dream is a massive shift when we actually start dreaming. So that's why in the Women's School, we look at the 8 different arenas of our life and say, what's my dream there? What's my dream here? And every single time I have a dream, I check all the different parts of my life to make sure that it's in alignment of my life. So, okay, great. This works well with my financial life, my career, but maybe it makes me not be fulfilled as a spouse, or it makes me not want to be a good friend. Maybe it's not in alignment with my family life or my, my environment, right? A lot of times we take on a career and all of a sudden our external environment, our home suffer because we don't have time to get it organized, or we feel so unhealthy and we come home so successful at work, and at home, it's really a hot mess. So we want to pay attention so that we move the needle forward in all the different arenas of our life. And that's what we really mean in integrated dreams. So I am going to encourage you, ladies, to start dreaming in a very integrated way, because what you focus on expands. So why not focus on all the different parts of your life that you want to design or redesign so that you actually move your needle forward consistently, cohesively, and you're not going to wake up one day and you realize, wow, I don't like this part of me. I don't like who I'm becoming in this arena. You are going to wake up one day and realize, wow, how much more fulfilling life is when you're really paying attention to all the different things that matter in your life, such as the image you hold of yourself, your self-image, who you think you are. That is such an important thing we need to pay attention to, because I see this with mothers. All of a sudden they kind of jump into motherhood and they realize a few years later, I don't know who I am. We need to be constantly managing our self-image. Number 2, we need to be constantly dreaming about optimal health. Now, optimal health has 4 components. It's our mental, it's our emotional, it's our physical, and our spiritual health. And one or the other cannot exist without the other. And that's a new concept, because so many times in the past, we've been told that it's not connected. But we know now through new science and new research that actually our emotions reveal to us our thoughts. And that affects our biochemistry, our body. This is why stress is the biggest cause of cancer. And stress is a mental is a mental suffering that actually affects our emotion and our physical body. So we know now that stress actually affects our immune system. So we have to look at all the different arenas integratedly. Our spiritual life is affected by our ability to actually receive, if we're able to be present, because our thoughts are not held captive by fear or anxiety. And so we actually inhibit our own spiritual growth because we can't be present when we are mentally, emotionally, and physically unable to. So that's the part that's so important for us to really manage, is that what? Our health. Number 3 is our friendship. Why? Because we need each other to grow. And if we are not managing the right friends, the kind of friends, we could be in toxic relationship. We could be in friendships that are not growing or dreaming, and it could stifle us. Number 4, we need to focus on that part of our heart, a part of our life that is so special that it is reserved only for that somebody that you want to share your life with, intimacy. We want to know that we're with the right person, that we're growing the person, that we're investing in who we need to become in order to inspire that other person. Those things are so vital, right? Because it doesn't matter what you achieve if you feel empty. And then number 5, we want to focus on our environment, our physical environment, because what's external affects the internal environment, the culture we have, right? And vice versa. So we are made to live in a space of order, peace, beauty. And it's not necessarily just the external, there's that culture of peace and beauty. Am I on number 7? Number 7, our contribution. You and I are here on a divine mission to fulfill something we were called to fulfill. And it's only then that we really live a life of fulfillment. And so we have to spend our lifetime trying to give birth to this contribution. It could be part of our work life. It could be outside of our work. It could be both. It could be, totally something that we discover later on in our life. We don't know. But the point is that we are constantly aware of our need for contribution so that we're always living at a place of generosity. Now that as mothers, as women, has to be in our home and outside our home. If you're single, it could be your roommates, it could be your coworkers. If you're married, it could be your children. Not it should be your children and your spouse. So we make sure that we're paying attention to the word contribution and it's not being convoluted with achievement. That is vital. Number 7 is our wealth, which as we define it is our extra time and resources to contribute back to humanity. The whole purpose of making money and making extra time so we can give more of our time to the people that we love, so we can get more money to give, to build the dreams that are going to change and impact the world for the good. That's vital. So we need to be paying attention to that, because what happens is that we're stressed and money is causing us to stress because we haven't really paid attention about the importance of having money for date night, money for adventure, money for dreams. Then we realize, well, I really have this great dream to build an orphanage, but I'm broke and I haven't really created a plan and dream around it. So maybe it's not for me. Well, maybe it was for you, but maybe we were never taught, right? And then the last thing is our family life, because we're all here and family is where we understand our value and our worth. And it's a vital part of our family of origin. So we need to invest in our families. And so we want to make sure that we are giving it everything we've got, just as we are at work, just our relationship. And so it requires a woman that's constantly growing and investing in her own growth to be able to give back into the different arenas. But the important part of it is that we're actually dreaming of all those different arenas. Because if we're not, we might wake up one day and realize, I don't like this part and this part and this part, and great, this is happy. And then we start to convince ourselves that, you know what, we can't have it all. And then you're asking for too much. It's not about having it all. It's about having peace and meaningful life in all the different arenas of our life as women. So it's not about achievement. It's about fulfillment that can only come from a life of generosity and contribution. And that has to be our focus as women. And then we focus on creating and designing a life and dreaming of a life of a contribution in context of the different parts of the arena of our life, we can change the world. And we have to do this together. There has to be language that's so crucial that we know to point out which arena needs a little bit of recalibration. And so in the Women's School, we're very specific about managing each arena of our life so that we can pay attention in that particular arena that needs some recalibration and then move faster into our contribution. My name is January Donovan, founder of the Women's School, really encouraging you to dream in a very integrated way.